In 2013, Naughty Dog released The Last of Us, a game that puts us in the shoes of Joel, a survivor living in a post-apocalyptic world whose young daughter died during the early days of a fungal outbreak. It has been 20 years since the virus has ravaged the world. When he is tasked with transporting Ellie, a very Ellen Page-looking girl, to a clinic in Salt Lake City at which an underground militia called the Fireflies will develop the cure. Fast forward 20 hours of gameplay, and we get to the final act of the game, where Joel finds out in order to get the vaccine, they need to open up Ellie's brain. Joel rejects the idea of losing Ellie and chooses to kill the surgeons and the rest of the Fireflies, taking away from mankind the one chance of eradicating the virus. So, is Joel selfish, or did he do the right thing? Let's find out. Hello friends, and welcome to Game Logic, a series that focuses on science and philosophy through the lens of video games. I'm your host Mike, and it's very easy to paint Joel as a selfish person. After losing his daughter, he loses all of his connection to humanity, and although he begins a rocky relationship with Ellie when they first meet, they later begin what developer Jacob Minkoff calls a father-daughter love story. And it's through this relationship that Joel can salvage the one he lost with his daughter at the beginning of the game, thus redeeming his role as a father and dooming the rest of humanity in the process. And it's for that very reason most people find Joel's actions disgraceful. How could he put the life of Ellie above everyone else? And they're in good company. In his book with the worst title ever, Groundwork of the Metaphysics of Morals, Enlightenment philosopher Immanuel Kant argues, in order for one to act morally, they must treat every person as an end in themselves, rather than a means to an end. Meaning that you shouldn't treat people as objects, tools, or resources that are to be used to accomplish your goals. They are equally important. It doesn't depend on whether the person is enjoying their life or making other people's lives better. We exist, and that matters. Evidently, Joel saw value in Ellie, as he aimed to make her a surrogate daughter. If Joel followed the writings of Immanuel Kant, he would have treated Ellie as an equal and respected her wishes. He would have allowed the Fireflies to operate on her brain for the betterment of mankind. Acting otherwise simply makes him selfish in the eyes of Kant. Joel's actions might be selfish, but they're not unjust, as humanity may be too far gone. If allowing the Fireflies to operate on Ellie meant restoring humanity to its pre-viral state, that would also mean living with all the undesirable qualities that accompanied it, including war, poverty, discrimination, and, God forbid, politics. Furthermore, how many of those who are left worth saving? Most of the game, you engage in the fight with totalitarian militia, bandits, murderers, and those who reversed back to cannibalism. Is this really a world worth saving? So it's safe to assume that there are some who could come to Joel's defense. In the early 20th century, Ayn Rand, through her novels like The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, introduced the world to objectivism, which states that your highest moral purpose should be the pursuit of your own selfish happiness. In Ayn Rand's own words, if you know that your life is all that you have, wouldn't you make the most of it? Joel's need to be a father figure surpasses his desire to cure mankind of the virus, since it's in his interest to be a father, and the world before the virus was responsible for the death of his daughter Sarah. While in Pittsburgh, the bandits ambush Ellie and Joel. It's during that time when they ally with two brothers, Sam and Henry. After they escape the city, Sam is bitten by an infected, but hides it from the group. Upon discovering that Sam has been infected, Henry kills his brother and commits suicide. He did it because he lost his brother, the one person he lived for. Similarly, Joel could not rationalize his existence without Ellie, regardless of what her wishes are. But what are Ellie's wishes? We first get a clue when talking to Marlene, Ellie's longtime caregiver.
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want.
It's what she would have wanted. And later, the picture becomes crystal clear when Ellie reveals the story of how she was bitten.
Back in Boston? Back when I was bitten? I wasn't alone. My best friend was there. and she got bit too. We didn't know what to do. So, she says, let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all poetic and just lose our minds together. I'm still waiting for my turn.
As a father figure, Joel takes care of Ellie every step of the way. Perhaps the most crucial moment is when Joel, Tommy, and Ellie all travel to the edge of Tommy's settlement. Joel initially asks Tommy to take Ellie to the university, but he changes his mind at the last moment and takes her there himself. When a gang of cannibals captures Ellie and prepares to butcher her, Joel comes to her rescue, despite his injury, and kills every last cannibal before comforting Ellie and continuing on their journey.
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Joel.
It's okay.
This is one of many examples why the game ended up being a huge financial hit and received numerous accolades across multiple outlets. Before we go, I would like to direct your attention to the title of the game, The Last of Us, as it gives players a sense that humanity has already reached the end of its course. Joel and Ellie's story could be the story of humanity's final days. With a fungal virus spread across the globe, the game portrays the final days of humanity. But whatever the case may be, The Last of Us is a never-ending thrill ride across a cannibal and disease-ridden United States. The game excels in capturing the characters' struggles, fears, and losses. But we also witness their friendship, aspirations, and happiness, causing us, the players, to emphasize with Joel and Ellie. No matter how insignificant, we cheer for their victories, and we mourn for their losses. It's not surprising that the end cutscene leaves us morally conflicted. This is perhaps one of the most compelling sequences in video game history.
Okay.
But what do you guys think? Is Joel selfish? Was saving Ellie the right thing to do? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I understand this was an emotionally heavy one, but if you liked this episode, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for future episodes. My name is Mike, and I'll see you for the next episode of Game Logic.